I'm Josh with Waupaca Community Media. We're back again for our weekly Waupaca update. We've got Ron Sari from the Waupaca School District, Aaron Jensen from the City of Waupaca. And the first thing we want to talk about is a partnership between the school district and the Foundry. You've got more than 24 students that in some way, shape, or form are working at the Foundry, whether it's a work experience program, apprenticeship, or just a flat-out part-time job after school. And that's been proving to be a pretty beneficial relationship. So tell us about that.
It's a great opportunity for the Foundry, for the school district, and for our students and their families. Really, the Foundry has 5 different youth apprenticeship students from our district that are leaving school early, and so they take a class in their area that they're wanting to do their youth apprenticeship in, and then going over to the Foundry and getting practical skills in those areas. One is human resources. Another student is doing it in accounting, and we have some others in the plants, in the core room area as well. So those are great opportunities. Then we have students who are doing work experience, which means they still leave school early, but it's not through youth apprenticeship. They go and they have a job over at the Foundry through a work experience program. And then we have other students that just have a job at the Foundry. So after school, or on weekends, they go to work at the Foundry. And you know what? It isn't like some minimum wage type of employment, Josh. These students during the week, between their base salary and their piecework, are making between $20 and $22 an hour during the week. But get this, on weekends, between $30 and $40 an hour. And so you can have a 16-year-old student that goes on the weekends and in the evenings after school and make some good money to save up for whatever they want to save up for. It's just a great opportunity for our kids.
And it's cool to hear it's not just all plant work, that they're getting experience in areas that they're truly interested in.
Yeah, one of these, that's doing the accounting, she wants to either become an accountant or an actuarial. Another one in the HR is thinking about that line of work or going into business. So it makes sense, and it's just appreciative that we have an organization in our community that's partnered so well with the school district. And I'm not even doing justice to the amount of the partnership by just talking about these work experiences. It's a lot of financial investment that they've given to our district over the years, as well as this robotic club that we have. They send between 5 and 15 staff members from the Foundry to work with our kids every week at the high school here, building these robots and preparing for the robotic competition. And it's not just the engineers coming over, it's people from HR, research and development, or R&D, people from HR, people from marketing, to help prepare students for this competition. So we're just blessed to have such a wonderful organization in our community partnering with us.
Very cool. We're going to shift gears and talk a little bit about Main Street. There's still a little bit of background work going on and some of the final touches, and there's a few amenities on Main Street being worked on. And Aaron, I know you want to highlight and talk a little bit about what's going on there.
Yeah, we've received a few questions lately on a couple different things: the speaker system and the LED lights that are above the normal street lights. And if you drive downtown any evening, you'll see sometimes they're red, sometimes they're blue, sometimes they're white, which we think that the capability of them is going to be awesome. We're just waiting on the technician to come in and train our staff, get everything programmed appropriately. So if it looks like there's a little bit of maybe a lack of a rhyme or reason, that's because there is right now until we get it programmed. And then we will have a little more purpose into what they're used for. For example, maybe Firefighters Appreciation Day is going to be red and white, or maybe St. Patty's Day is going to be green. And when the Packers play, it'll be green and gold. So looking to kind of coordinate it around events like that. And then as far as the speakers go, right now they're on, I believe, at the lowest level, Josh, correct? From a volume standpoint. And they do play music, just kind of random music from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then they shut off. Certainly we will be using those speakers for events and things like that, announcements when Main Street's closed down for larger types of events like the Halloween party or Strawberry Fest and things like that. And I think the use of them outside of event purposes is still a work in progress. So we're getting some feedback. We encourage people to continue giving us feedback so we can build that plane as it flies a little bit.
Or if people have ideas for what color the light should be for a special event, that would be some cool feedback too. There's probably a lot of ideas out there to spruce up downtown with some unique items.
Agreed.
And then one last topic to talk about that I guess I'm the interviewee is some broadband internet expansion efforts going on right now throughout Waupaca County. And ongoing project, Waupaca County, in conjunction with the Waupaca County Economic Development Corporation, has erected 11 towers in strategic locations throughout rural Waupaca County. And there are some in nearby rural Waupaca areas, such as East Road. There's one southeast of Waupaca in the rural town of Lend, along with areas such as Caledonia, the central portion of the county, northern county by DuPont and Bear Creek. And they've partnered with Waupaca Online to bring more internet expansion throughout the county into areas that are unserved and underserved, where fixed wireless internet has a better chance of success, which are the more flatter areas. So that's just one phase of internet expansion efforts going on, with other providers bringing in other projects in the future to other areas. And there's one more public information meeting taking place tomorrow, Thursday at 6 p.m. at Fox Valley Tech in Clintonville to learn more about that project. And there's also details posted online, waupacaonline.net, for the project. And work is going to start on equipping those towers in March, and hopefully with a lot of that work completed in May, and then starting to hook up customers at that point.
That's great.
Josh, if I could say just a second on this, you and I talked about this a little bit before today's meeting, and thought it was important to touch on this because I think we've recently attended some conferences, some statewide conferences, and it was great to hear there are so many things and tools that we have to address some of our community's biggest challenges right now. And that's attracting people, it's attracting workforce, it's providing housing, which there's a shortage of. And a lot of the things we heard that these other communities are trying to do, we've already been working on it. And I credit our staff a ton. I credit our policymakers a ton, our city council, our plan commission, whether it's zoning kind of changing zoning code to remove some barriers to make housing more affordable, whether it is talking about the creation of a mixed-use TIF to help support housing, whether it is downtown business incentive programs, home repair programs, and your project, Waupaca Online, and the county's partnership with this broadband expansion and the access in addressing that to some level I think it's really cool. There's a lot of cool things happening. Not a ton of people probably know about that effort with Waupaca Online in the county, and the fact that CDBG dollars are helping pay for that. So I think it's awesome what you guys are doing.
You made the point on the policymakers, and one comment I'll make is someone whose part of their job is to follow what's going on with internet, and having applied for grants and really seeing the grand scheme of things of what's going on border to border in this county. One, we've got a lot of areas that are very unserved and underserved, but of different town boards and town chairs that I've talked to throughout these projects, we've got a lot of town boards that are very proactive in different ways and different areas of support on getting internet expansion, and that's not seen everywhere. There are a lot of counties and a lot of towns in other parts of the state where the local government is not focused on that. That's not a concern of theirs, even though they are in an area. So there are, a lot of momentum and a lot of support for various projects, different funding sources, different providers. There's a lot of things, I think, coming up in the pipeline over the next several years that'll address, hopefully, a lot of the internet issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
Well, I think that's all we've got for this week's update, and we'll be back again soon to get another update out to the Waupaca community. So thanks to Ron and Aaron.
Thank you, Josh.
Josh.